you want to be remembered when you leave this earth?
That's kind of what legacy is, right? But the question is the thought of your legacy keeping you from retiring? It's not really keeping us from retiring. We're going to tell you what we think legacy is all about, and we're really interested to hear about your thoughts on the topic. Hi, I'm Rich.
And I'm Robbie, and you found our channel before it's too late.
So on our channel, we're just trying to explore topics that are relevant to our generation, 40s, 50s, 60-year-olds. And today we're going to talk about legacy. So if you get anything from this video, it'd be great if you'd like it, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you know when we put out new stuff. Like I said, today we're going to talk about legacy. And it means different things to different people, that's for sure. You know, to some people it's, I'm going to leave a pile of money for my kids, and that's my legacy.
Right.
To some people it's, I'm going to leave a bunch of money to a university. Maybe they'll build a building in my name, right? And those kind of things, I just don't think are the everyday man's idea of legacy. What do you think?
Well, I think when I think of legacy, I try and envision like the impact that my life leaves on those that outlive me, right? So like how do they remember me? Like, what did I do to inspire them or affect their life or help them in some way?
So is it just the people like our family, or do you think about work too? Like I know there's some guys who think, you know, I've done certain things at work, especially people maybe that started their own business of some sort,
right?
That they want to leave that in a way that it'll go on, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think you can think about it in that way. I mean, we are faith people, that are believers in Jesus. And so a lot of times I think legacy should revolve around how did I live my life? Did I share Jesus with others? Who did I impact in that realm? I mean, there can be that legacy if you look at it that way. And it can be a financial kind of a thing, like you talked about as well, that we're leaving something for those that outlive us.
So like the point of this episode though is really like, is the thought of your legacy keeping you from retiring?
Right.
So I have some friends that they just have it in their mind that they want to be able to have enough money put away that they can have their retirement and still leave a nice chunk for their kids at the end.
And we love our kids. Like we love our kids. Probably not going to leave them a whole lot because if everything goes well, we'll spend it all before we die.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've told my kids, you better plan on me spending my last dime on my last day. Maybe that's not actually going to happen.
Right,
I mean,
right.
We have done fairly well in preparing, and but that's not saying if I'm perfectly healthy until I'm 95,
right,
I'll be spending money until I'm 95, right? So I guess you just don't know for sure. But again, we've had some friends that talk about that, but again, also the guys that are at a job, whether they like it or they don't like it, they don't think they can leave their job because it's not in a spot that they're comfortable leaving it. Whether it's their own business or whether they're working for somebody else, they're trying to set up so that their legacy goes on for a while and people remember how they left their job.
Right.
And, in my estimation, I guess, I think I'm, as far as work goes, I think people will remember who I am for a while.
Yeah.
But, that's not enough of my being that I'm too concerned about it. And the longer, really the longer we do this channel and we engage with more of you about what retirement looks like for you or may look like, the less I'm putting thought into how's work going to be when I'm gone.
Right.
Right.
Agree, for sure.
And I think I've joked about it in other videos. I think they'll spend a couple weeks looking for somebody to replace me, and then a couple months getting used to me not being there, and then it'll be,
you're forgotten.
yeah, who's Rich Carter,
Yeah.
right? So, and I think that's fine. Like, that's not going to hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there are people out there who are kind of wrapped up in their work,
Mm-hmm.
and that would hurt their feelings if once they're gone, a year or two later, people aren't still talking about what they did.
Right. Right.
For me, I think my legacy, I hope to spend kind of the rest of my life cementing my legacy. So, I mean, what people remember about me, I'd like that it would be more about the last 20 years of my life than the previous 40 years from now.
Right.
So that, I feel like I'm going to have more opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to create a legacy going forward after I retire.
Right. Because I mean, you think about it, and it's like time wise, when you're retired, obviously you have more time. There's more ability and more opportunity, I think, to um, spend time with the grandkids, make memories, just build that relationship, even with your kids. Just, I mean, you've built a relationship your whole life, but you've also worked your whole life, right, with people around you. But then when you're retired, there's just that much more of an opportunity to be able to kind of solidify all of that and make an impact, whether that be financially or just with your time and generosity, um, and being present.
Right. And I think at least for me, and I think for Robbie as well, it's not all about our impact on our family. I mean, it's a
Right.
big part, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think in retirement, we'll have a lot more opportunities to say yes
Mm-hmm.
when the kids ask us for time,
Right.
but also time to give to, the food pantry for
Right.
Robbie, or
Yeah.
time to mentor people that might be in a bad spot in their life.
Right.
There's time for more things when you don't have to worry about the schedule of your job.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I also know, I feel like we're lucky in that we have done some preparation so that we're, at least I believe, we're financially able to do these things. There's some people that are going to have to work until
Mm-hmm.
they're 65 or 70 because life circumstances haven't allowed them to prepare for it. But maybe their legacy looks different. Maybe their legacy is, I worked the whole time to provide for my family and be able to.
And what did that teach your family? That taught your family what a hard worker, that person is, and being able to do that. It's like they leave that legacy too. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I just think there's some folks, though, that they have enough finances to be able to do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And work isn't going to miss them that much when they go. And I think there's some, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I think there's just some self-examination that needs to happen about how much of their identity is tied up in the work they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they pass that off as, I can't retire yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do think that that's a big thing, is not getting hung up on that and then not retiring, right? Because really there might be a whole lot more opportunity in retirement to build that legacy, like we've said, than what there was previously.
I don't think people are very often remembered for how long they worked,
Yeah.
right? I think you're more often remembered for what you did for the time that you had that was your choice,
Right.
right? So if you have the choice in retirement to spend time with your kids, or
Mm-hmm.
to do things that they need you to do to make their life a little bit easier,
Yeah.
and form relationships with your family and your grandkids and friends that may
Mm-hmm.
also need you.
Or just serving others in other ways too. Anyone, not just your family.
Right, your
Mm-hmm.
friends, or just the community,
Mm-hmm.
community in one
Mm-hmm.
way or another.
Right.
But again, I know there's many thoughts out there on what leaving a legacy looks like. Um, I guess just for us, it's not about finances.
Mm-mm. No. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, do I want to be able to help my children, our children, financially? Absolutely. That would be awesome. But that's not the number one priority. I don't feel like it
And if
is.
we're honest, I don't think we're worried about our kids
Right.
needing our help at any
Mm-hmm.
point. But I know everybody's not that way, so don't take that as me being snobby or whatever. I just think, our kids are at least right now on the right path, but they're probably only one tragedy away from another path. So we hope that doesn't happen. But if I'm retired, or if we're retired, if that tragedy happens, maybe we're more available to help them too, right? So that's kind of our take on what our legacy will hopefully look like. More about the values that we have, the traditions for our family that we've set, and just maybe the energy that we put into making sure those around us, including our community, use us to the best extent possible. And I hope that I'm also sharing the value that it's not all about chasing the dollar, right? And there are other things out there. So we're really interested in your take on it, on what leaving a legacy means to you. So that'd be great if you'd leave us some comments about that. And if I'm way off base, or maybe here I am not retired yet, and I have these grandiose thoughts about what my legacy would look like, call me out. I'm fine with that too. So so that's where we're at. So are thoughts about your legacy keeping you from retiring? I'd love to know more about that. So that'll do it for this time. We really appreciate you watching, and it needs to be mentioned, Robbie and I went and voted today.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that.
Go vote.
Make sure you get out there and vote. Make your voice heard, whichever way you want to go, but make sure you're out there making your voice heard. We appreciate you watching our channel. We appreciate you engaging with us. So leave that like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching us, and God bless.